Okay. Hi, everybody. I'm here to voice my opinion on everything that ever was, and this is gonna just be a pretty raw video because I'm not fancy. I don't like recording. I don't like putting myself out there. It's kind of why I didn't actually follow through with the acting when I was younger. I'm not fancy on like editing things and whatnot, so this is just gonna be as straightforward as possible. I'm not going to digress too much. I've got bullet points and talking points. But God has been talking to me slowly. I've been listening, and I don't remember the scripture. I didn't think to write that down because it wasn't a thought in my mind. But I cannot be lukewarm in my faith and my relationship with Jesus any longer. All my friends know that I am Christian, and I love them, and I don't judge them to the best of my ability. We all judge. It's natural. It's what we do. We can't make full decisions without judging a situation. So you can't judge. It's part of life. You do it. But it's the negative judging that's gotten out of hand. Man, I'm emotional already. I didn't used to be this way, guys. I swear. I used to be like I didn't have feelings when I was a teenager. But I mean, life happens, right? So, as I said, this is just going to be raw. I was born across the country, raised in Vegas since I was like 2.5. We were poor. My mom didn't want to ask for help too much. She did what she could on her own with what little she got from my biological father and what the state would approve for her as a woman who was white and one child. We didn't get much help. She got Section 8, and that helped, and she had to pay the rest herself without the help of whatnot. Like, I remember at one time we got $10 food stamps constantly. So we moved around to different smaller places that would accept Section 8 when I was younger. So I have lived in various neighborhoods on the... I'm horrible with my compass rose. I believe it's the east side of Las Vegas. Sahara Nellis, if you know that area. Those are the key cross streets that I always remember. But I grew up in neighborhoods that were very diverse. And a couple of years, I was one of like a handful of white kids in the neighborhood. So no, I've never been judged for going into a store and being watched, except for when I was going through my klepto phase after my ex-husband left me. We all go through a phase of some sort. That was mine. Anyway, I had to rebel at the age of 25. So anyway, I had many friends of all backgrounds. Hello, cat. Yes, the cat's in here too. Sorry. So no, I don't know what it feels like that, but I know what it feels like to be judged on the color of my skin. When you're a poor kid in a poor neighborhood, surrounded by a lot of families of many backgrounds, many different upbringings, and it was amazing. I was literally in a melting pot. It's just, Vegas is hard to keep connections with unless they are people who have also lived there all their lives. Transient is a thing, and I miss Alex. And I'm glad I got to see him earlier this year. He's the one constant for sure since who knows how long now. Junior high. My God, Alex, I love you. I miss you. I'm so glad we can still just randomly chat and be like, oh, we're all good. Anyway, I'm getting ahead of myself again, or digressing. Again, bullet points, trying. I just had on here start with a bit of my background. So, My dating experience has been also all over the place. Am I love whom I love. I don't care based on gender or genitalia. It's just it's what I grew up. I was born again Christian when I was 10. I got baptized. Started off actually as Jehovah's Witness until I was 8. That's fun, not knowing what it's like to have a birthday and holidays for the first 8 years of my life. My mom got it worse. So props, Mom, for going so far as you did. Um, so I've had a weird background myself. Nothing horrible, nothing crazy. I was abused. I've never been raped except by my ex-husband and a girlfriend he tried bringing into our relationship, but that's a different part of my life. And it was while I was angry at God, and you can be angry at God as long as you are there to still talk to him, because he was always listening. Honestly, I I wouldn't be here now if I hadn't have gone back to talking to him. And this isn't without trying different things. Like I talked to a friend who was becoming a Buddhist monk for ages and learned about that. Wiccan and pagan are different enough. I know this. I did some study on that. I even did study on uh, uh, Satanism. That is different than devil worship. Don't get me started. People get angry. There is a difference, and I researched it, and I know this. Um, so during that time of rebellion is when I got married to the wrong man. I know this now, but I thought I was happy. But once I started talking to God and listening to him again, things have gone in a much better fashion. So I wouldn't be here without him. I am in Oregon. I live in Oregon, a very liberal state, and I have amazing friends, and they are wonderful, and they love me, even though I've told them I'm Christian. Um, and my views vary from them quite differently. Um, a lot of them don't know my stances on everything because I don't. I'm not a debater. I can't debate facts. As you can tell, I'm already too emotional. 7 minutes and 8 minutes in, and I'm still trying to hold back tears. It's who I am. I'm crying all the time. My friends don't see it in person as much as it really happens. Like, yes, I have, um, oh gosh, uh, imposter syndrome a lot of the time. When I'm out with my friends, I feel like I'm not really who they think I am, or they don't really like me for who I am. It happens, and I get upset if I feel like I've done anything wrong to them. I put a lot on myself. But that's due to um, living up with a single parent who chose to take care of me then instead of herself. A biological father who was not really ever there. And I say not really because he was in and out. I saw him a few times in my teenage years. Um, Trying to have him help with my wedding was literally pulling teeth. And when I was 14 or 15, I asked for just a little bit of help for something I really wanted to do. And he laughed at me over the phone and told me I was just like his mother. All I ever wanted was money, when all I ever called him for was to talk to him. I'm digressing again, but it's about my past. So, I'm not perfect. I have messed up. The longest job I've had right now is taking care of my mother, but every year, 2 years, I held jobs down solidly for at least 2 years, but I couldn't handle the backstabbing and the biting for most of them. 2 of them went under not long after I found other jobs to go to, sadly. Air conditioning companies are hard to keep truly properly working in Vegas. They're, unless you're like a huge, massive nationwide, it's kind of hard. But anyway, I digress again. Um, I have amazing friends, and I love them. But I'm not a debater. I can't spew facts at you as quickly as many other people are able to recite them so nicely, passionately. But at times, I can't handle arguing. I can't handle yelling. Um, Kind of triggers me. Just the idea of having an argument or a civil discourse with people is hard, because every time I have in the past with certain people, um, they have shot me down, and it's hard. So I can't discuss things with people. Like, I'm able to. But I can tell you random facts sometimes, when it's not a massive topic. But again, if it's like politics and religion, I don't talk. I'm completely different from all my friends, as far as I am aware, because of the one time I posted my opinion on Facebook about how people were giving one person too much power. Um, and I have randomly stated on Facebook in the past, I'm not on there, haven't been on there in months, and I am so much happier that I'm not, because conspiracy brain and proof that their algorithms are out to actually mess with you mentally. I have proof. It has happened. So I don't go on there anymore. Their algorithms were messing with me on purpose. All I was seeing was negative stuff, no matter how much I delved into people's stuff and liked the good things. Um, but a while back, I posted a thing saying, "You're giving someone too much power." He is only one man. The most he can do is veto a thing. Everybody else has to take part. There is Congress, and they all help. There are various different parts that all help. The president is the poster child. He's one man that we voted to represent us. We have different parts to choose from, and that is perfectly fine. We are all individuals. We all have different points of view, and certain people make sense to us and certain ones don't. It's a beautiful thing to have different options, and that's fine. But when I voiced my opinion, it ruffled feathers with people I care about. Thankfully, a couple came to my to back me up a bit in a way, and that's fine. Everybody can do what they can do. And I don't blame them. I don't judge people for what they do or what they want. But I don't voice my opinion, because every time I do, I get shot down. And that was the whole point of this. And I'm tired. Quarantine has had me cornered, just like everybody else. My mental state got worse before quarantine happened, and then it got even worse after it happened. I am a face-to-face person. I don't like video. I tried doing counseling over video recently, like 6 sessions, and I'm feeling like it's not helped. I get myself out of everything anyway already. I get myself out of my depression and my anxiety without the help of stuff. I just have to work through it. But I am a face-to-face person. I hate talking over the phone. It ruffles me something fierce. I don't like it. Having to do it for jobs multiple times, being a receptionist at 2 different places, answering or doing sales over the phones for one place for a couple of years. I'm a face-to-face person. Texting is easier because, like, you can respond when you want to, you can have time to think about what you really want to say, but your emotions just don't connect through it. I don't like it. But it's a little better than over the phone. But I like being in person. I like being able to judge a person's like emotions or their stance or how their body language is. It just is a little better, a little easier for me. But that's why, like, this video needs to happen, because I can't be around my friends to say it in person. I don't know if I ever could anyway. I love you all, but I can't say what I want to say because I can't get jumped on. I personally can't deal with people jumping on me because my thinking is differently than yours. I just can't do it in person, and I'm sorry. So this is kind of the coward's way, but it's got to be said. This took longer than I meant to as an opening, and I'm really sorry, guys. So, a friend sent me a text asking me what my stance is on things. How do I feel about Black Lives Matter? And who do I support Trump? Like, what's going on with the current times? And she's the first one to actually ask me. I'm really quiet. Instagram's my thing. That's where this is getting posted first. Because I can choose what I like there for the most part. They're messing with my algorithm right now, and that's because it's owned by Facebook. I have so many thoughts on that. Conspiracy brain. But anyway. So, my key point to start off with, the first one she asked was if I support Black Lives Matter. Yes, in that Black lives do matter. People of color matter. Everybody matters. And I understand that right now we're making a point to say that Black lives matter. But protesting and rioting are two different things. Peaceful protesting, I'm absolutely for. Go out there, make a point to show that you are angry at what is happening in a productive way, guys. Rioting and looting, destroying public property that our taxpayers, that people who make money, get taxes taken out of, pay for these things. You're damaging property that either you are paying for or that people you know are paying for out of their taxes. It's not okay to damage somebody's personal owned property, to break into somebody's business that they own. They worked their ass off to pay for themselves. It's not okay. But make a point, absolutely, to say this thing is happening, it's not right. Stand out there, be quiet, or do a dance, or honestly sit there. Make a point, but don't do it in a destructive manner, because you're literally just doing worse. The same as or worse than what you're going against. There are many protests that happen out there and stuff is damaged or trash is left everywhere. That's counterproductive, guys. That's not helpful. Jesus trashed those shops at the temple. But the thing to point out is that Jesus did that because they were inside the temple. They weren't outside on the street in front of beforehand, before getting into the temple. That's fine. But when they are inside a holy place to worship God, that's what upset him. This place of worship where you're supposed to just be there, be with God, be with other people who want to be with God. Not buying things, not selling things, not making a profit, but to be there for God. So, yes, Jesus was considered a radical in that aspect. So that's my point to make, is that that's the only thing he damaged, was the fact that they put up stuff inside a holy temple. I can't say much more than that. And the point is, don't damage, really, honestly. He didn't damage the temple that humans made to worship in God. Um, but this whole situation about lives, I'm all for life. I'm for all lives. I'm for every life living. I am so for life. I don't believe in the death penalty. What does the death penalty have to do to actually make things better? I understand for people who have had someone murdered, it's in a way it is closure, that the person that took their family's life away is no longer alive themselves. And I get that. But murdering them isn't gonna teach them a lesson. All we can do is judge them by the law way, and hopefully help teach them. This is getting horrible. I can't think this. I'm going way off topic and it's not helpful. So my point to make is that, like, I'm not for the death penalty. People shouldn't live. I'm for torture. Honestly, I believe an eye for an eye in a situation, but just not death. I don't think that it really teaches anybody anything these days. But that's my personal view. That's me. You don't need to blast me saying, oh, but blah, blah, blah. I don't, it's not, that's fine. You have your right to your opinion. I have my right to mine. You're not going to change it. I am 34 going 35. I'm still learning new things, but this is a thing I've thought of for years, literally decades. I don't believe in it. All lives. And did you know that actually the number one killer in America is abortions? And this is my stance. I'm bringing this up right now. Fetus is Latin for unborn child. So trying to get technical, saying fetus is all you're doing is saying unborn child in another language, an ancient language, one that's been around for ages. You're not making any difference by just changing the word. It is still a human being. That is a human being that God wanted to be on this earth. And I forgot to preface that I'm not a Bible thumper. You can ask any of my friends. I don't push my views. I sometimes bring it up as to, like, my feelings, religious views. And I don't do religion. I do faith. I say alternative Christian, goth for Jesus, raver for Jesus, whatever. I just feel all lives are here for a purpose. Defense is one thing. I can absolutely understand. In defense, that person was going to kill you. So you defended yourself in the most defensive way, and I can't think of a better term, kids' emotions. But even though Jesus said, turn the other cheek, what that really meant was, back then, when you turn the other cheek, that was a form of them having to slap you in a manner that was harder and worse for both sides. So what Jesus was basically saying was, turn the other cheek, so that it shows that they're actually the problem, that they're the worst one, the one that's causing the issue, the one that's being awful. I hope that makes sense. I had bullet points and I keep digressing. Human life. Guys, human life. That's what we're here for. As far as Trump goes, he's our president. He got voted in. He won. It's how it works, guys. And the system is corrupt, and people cheated, and it didn't work, or it did work. Who knows? But he's our president. I'm for some of his values. I'm against some of his values. I vote my heart. And my heart always goes for the person who is against abortion. Because lives. Human beings. That's what we're here for. Another reason I vote is so that I have the right to bitch. Because if you don't vote, you don't have that right. You can't sit there and complain about how things are right now if you didn't at least try to make a change. And voting is a change. And if you feel that your vote doesn't count, it does. Every vote counts. We are a sea of people, but that one drop, you still helped make a sea. So, I vote so I can complain. And boy, do I complain to my mom. Because again, I can't talk politics. I'm not a debater. I can't really share facts. I'm here to spread love. So, since I'm on this route, as far as the riots go, animals are off limits, guys. There have been horses that have been hurt on purpose. The rioter that threw a brick at the horse, and then the truck that plowed through people, had two thoroughbreds in his truck on the trailer. People were throwing Molotov cocktails inside. There is video. Look this up. One had to be put down. There was no recovering from the damage that was done to this poor deer. The other was blind in one eye due to the rioters literally throwing things inside. Please look this up. Don't use Google, and I'll come to that later. But anybody who hurts animals or children, and please, people, pay attention to where you're walking. If you see a big group that's happening, turn the other way with your children. Go around. Take the longer way. I don't care. People will understand that you're late for a thing. Children shouldn't be used in this situation. These are adult problems. Kids should be at home taking care of them. Imagination. Kids don't belong in this. Teenagers don't belong in this. They still don't have the mental faculties to understand what is going on. Anybody under the age of 18, even at 18, it's still hard to understand what is going on in the world. There's so many different things, and they're all being bombarded with like one thing, and they're not doing enough research to do it themselves. Again, I'll come to that later. Animals are off limits. Don't take your kids where it's going to be protesting or rioting, or the chance of rioting, is, I should say. That's not smart, guys. And if you were walking in that direction and didn't pay attention, I can understand that. But pay attention. These things shouldn't be happening. Period. But they are. A thing I want to bring up also is, why is it that every leap year, massive things seem to be going wrong? Why is this happening now? What is leap year? Voting year. Why is this seems to be happening? Seems to me, every leap year, every year we're supposed to be voting in a new POTUS, things get really hinky. So just think about that one, guys. That's all I gotta say is just think about it. Trying to stick to my strip to not keep this too long. My suggestion is this. Do your research, guys. And this is the point, which was apparently going to be next. Check out other accounts. Check out other people, differing views of what is happening. Try to actually listen to their side. I do it all the time. My friends are mostly different views. And I hear them, and I think about them. And I try to understand from their point of view. So here's some accounts to check out. Joel Patrick, 1776 on Instagram. He's a young person of color, conservative. I believe in a lot of what he says. Makes a lot of sense. Hodge twins, they actually like to stir the pot on both sides. It's great. But they are mostly conservative. But they anger both sides often, and I like it. Diamond and Silk make good points. Real Candace Owens is amazing. Ariella Scarcella is great. The Gay Who Strayed is awesome. Then there's a couple other ones that I know are looked up. There's a Rob Smith and a I think Shakina, I just found out recently, are all good ones, and I will tag them in the video so that you guys can check them out. Just look at different views, guys. There's many different sides. And when it comes to this, absolutely do your research. And I can't stress this enough. Don't use Google. Maybe not use Bing either. There are many websites to search from. I use DuckDuckGo. And one, I don't like being tracked because I have always been against Big Brother. Learning about the eye in the sky at the casinos in Vegas always freaked me out as a child. There's people watching me all the time when I'm in a casino. I don't like that. Yes, I have a high-tech phone. I have come to my senses on dealing with the fact that no matter what kind of technology past the point of 2005, they have tracking. It's in everything. Even my car that's a 05 Scion XB, as minimal as possible, and I drive a stick, still has a computer in there that's probably tracking. It's there, guys. And if you believe that, oh no, they won't do it, I'm sorry, but you're not working in the big company. You didn't sign a non-disclosure to say, can't say that they aren't. It's there. Deal with it. I do. And I if I didn't already like the luxury of living in a nice house and having power and running water, I would literally run away to the hills. But I raised in Vegas. This is all I know, baby. As you can see, I'm me. And man, do I need to touch up my stuff. But do your research. DuckDuckGo is one. I literally looked up some websites recently to check them out. And they work. And I'll also post them so you can do this. Because they don't follow you. Some of them actually use encrypted algorithms so that like you can't get tracked even more. The less tracked you are, the better of differing views you're going to get. Google is paid. They give you the ones that pay them the most. Honestly. So, don't use Google. Please, for the love of God, don't. And incognito doesn't work as great either. Especially when you're still using Google. Or Chrome. Oh, there's a thing about Chrome lately. Research. Ow, cat. Dang it. That's what I get for letting you be in my. Nope, nope, nope. Fuck off. Sorry for the language. What? You were just so itchy. Anyway, sorry. Cat's in here. He got fixed. He can't be with the other animals to lessen better his healing time. So gigablast.com, disconnect search, there's Holby, there's Yippee, Metager. I will literally have these all down for you guys. Try them. All of them work. I've tested them. You'll get differing views. Don't trust main media because they are literally telling you what they want you to know. We're literally turning into 1984. I can't say literally enough because it's so true. And I never trust anything. I mean, even these guys I don't trust, but that's just from my conspiracy brain, not trusting a long time to learn. You can't trust everything. We're always being lied to. That's a thing that shouldn't be in our lives. We're in an imperfect world. And I'm just waiting to go to heaven at this point. I'm praying for everyone constantly. Because that's all I can do. I can just be here to love and pray. So, which is next? Even if you don't believe that God put us on this earth, we are all here together and we should all love each other. My favorite is John 13 through 31 through 35. It's long, extensive, and I put it simplified. Love God, love everyone. That is what we're here to do. Love each other. I believe God made us. Not in the blink of an eye. It took years. Millions of years for things to form. That's why I definitely believe that the planet has got to be that old. But we're here together. And we're supposed to love each other. Not kill each other. So, by that fact, Mark 12, I've got this in the New International Version, 30 and 31. Love the Lord God with all your heart, with all your soul, with all your mind, and with all your strength. Okay? He made us. He doesn't like what's happening. And yes, you can yell at me in anger and be like, "What? Why does God let all these bad things happen?" It's not that he lets them happen. We have free will, guys. We have doctors because he gave us the knowledge to be able to try and fix ourselves. Miracles happen for those that need to see God. Miracles don't usually happen for those that already believe and have faith in God. If we can believe in Santa and the Tooth Fairy and unicorns and mermaids, why is it so hard to believe in God? There are humans out there, adults into their 50s and 60s that still believe. Mermaids, dragons, unicorns, fairies, all believe. Why can't God be believed? Why is it so hard to believe he's real? Verse 31. The second is this: love your neighbor as yourself. There is no commandment greater than these. I like these words from Jesus because they are slimmed down versions of the 10 Commandments. If you loved your neighbor, you wouldn't envy him. You wouldn't lust after his wife. You wouldn't steal from him. If you loved your mother and father, you'd still honor and obey them. It's hard, I know. We all gotta learn. But the majority of them are trying to do the right thing for us. And I say majority because there are sadly ones out there that still choose, because they have the will to choose, to not be good. And I'm sorry for those that have had a really bad upbringing. But you are better than that. And you can choose to be better than that. I pray for you. And if you don't believe me, my prayers on a daily basis consist of, please God, keep everyone safe. Please, I pray that they learn of your love. And that we all be able to see each other in heaven. I do honestly believe that. I have faith in my prayers. And I do pray for everyone. I'm quiet most of the time. But I can't be quiet anymore. And I love you all. Even if I don't know you. I honestly love you. I've been to raves. I've made friends. I miss some of them. Met some great people at EDC in Vegas back in 2013, and I still follow them now. I miss them. They had great energies. Some have created families. Some have separated. But I still follow them both. And I'm praying and sending love to everyone always. And even the evil people. I pray something happens in their life, that they see God. That they find love. And if you can believe in the devil, why can't God be real too? Honestly, guys, there are some things going down now that's happening. So please, be good to each other. I love you. I care for you. I don't know who you are, but I'm sending you love. Please, for the love of all, be good to each other.